Recording on right quick. All right, all right. All right, all right. Well, it's like 12:59 and we're early.
40 seconds to go.
40 seconds to go. I'm recording you guys just so you know for the record. We got a few new people here. So I want to do some introductions. Absolutely. I saw your camera for 1 second, Austin. Then I lost you.
1 second.
I love your
1 second.
logo, by the way. That's really, really cool. ZerONE Data Solutions. You see that?
Like that.
Pretty cool. I'm also like in the middle of I got a new computer. It's always a challenge with that. I got a gaming computer. So yeah.
You are
There he is.
turning up a notch, man.
I'm
Gaming
trying,
computer. What you doing with gaming computer?
I don't play no games either, man. But you know what? I mean, I've been looking at a lot of different forums and they say that those are the most powerful PCs.
Oh yeah, their graphics are always top notch, and the processing power is always good.
Yeah, so I figured, you know what, because we're doing so much more Zooms and things, I just want my computer to struggle less. So I'm hoping it works.
What kind of computer did you get?
It is an HP, they call it an HP Omen.
Hewlett Packard.
Yeah, I've been working with HPs for a little bit now. This is not a product endorsement, right? But I don't want to get sued. But I've worked with a lot of different computers. When I was a programmer, I worked for Dell. So I worked with a lot of different computers, but recently I've been liking the HPs. So I'm trying to swap out all my PCs and get HPs for everything. You know,
they're very slick in their designs, you know.
Yeah, man. You know, the slick designs. I like the way that you know, each one of these things has their own little nuance, right? Each company has their own nuance with how the operating system works and what have you. But the HP, I like their operating system. I like the way so I really am pleased with it. So that's
good.
Yeah, but it's always a hassle. You know, Austin, when you get new PCs, man, I've got so much stuff going on. I might need to hire you. I might need to hire you, brother. I'm not actually.
I am so busy. I mean,
I know.
I'm so timed, man.
I know, man. Yeah. Hey, so we're getting people popping in, and this is a good time for us to do an introduction. I tell everyone who joins us that we record these. Sometimes people will watch, and you might even get a call from it. It's happened in the past. So I like to let people know who you are and things of that nature. And since you're new to the group, we'll do a round of introductions, guys. Is that cool? And we'll start with my good man, Austine Nwankwo. We've been working together for a long time. I wish he had a restaurant, man. The guy's cooking and every guy's, he's the man. I'm not going to keep yakking. Tell us who you are, a little bit about yourself and what you do, my man.
All right, my name is Austine Nwankwo. I am a cybersecurity analyst with University Hospital. I've been in IT business for 22 years. I currently teach cybersecurity, CompTIA Security Plus for friends that are aspiring to get into cybersecurity, and I help them, mentor them, and they get into the field. I'm also a father of 3. A single parent, and they live with me here, and it's always busy. Them now schooling from home, you have to provide 3 square meals, so it's a little harder. So that's me.
Leaving me.
Nice. Well, nice to have you, man.
Thank
Welcome
you.
to our little Friday Focus Forum. Let's talk to Tony. Tell us a little bit about yourself. What you do.
Retired Navy, I do real estate, and on the side, I do a little interpreting in court, and I'm here to help.
Nice.
I'm also a father and a grandfather.
Wow.
Abuelo, right? Abuelo?
Yes.
Nice. Bruce, it looks like we're going to be beaten up by real estate people because I think we got 3 here at least. Bruce.
Joe.
I see Joe as well. So tell us a little bit about yourself, Bruce.
I am a real estate broker, licensed in 1997. I'm also a real estate instructor, and I'm also the director of the Bergen County uh, Real Estate Board.
Nice.
And that's it. I mean, I have 3 grandchildren in New Orleans. New Orleans. I got it. There you are. I didn't see you.
So Bruce,
Nolan.
you're with Lynx, right?
Lynx and Teaneck.
And Tony, you're with Better Homes.
Yep.
Now, George, where are you at?
Coldwell Banker.
Coldwell Banker. So we've got 3 real estate agents among us. George, you do other things besides. So if you want to tell us a little bit about what you do as well, feel free.
Okay. My name is George Hobson, and I'm originally a New Yorker, Brooklyn. I put that out. And right now, I've been selling real estate for the last 16 years. Also, we're also starting a company that I first came to this group sharing it and sharing the disposition. However, I'm getting pulled back in for a good reason. Because one of the problems I was having in establishing that company seems to be going away. Anyway, but I look forward to this meeting because it's an accountability group that helps me set up certain particular metrics that I'm able to put into my program.
Awesome. And thank you for that, because, you know, really, you joined us with one company, and then you kind of stepped away from it for a little bit, but it's cool. You keep coming back. I really appreciate it. And I like that it's having some value, because that's the only reason that I want to do it. So I like hearing it. Thank you, brother. We have someone new with us, Abner.
That's my brother, Abner.
Hello, Abner. How are you?
I'm doing good. And you guys?
Good. Welcome to our forum. Tell us a little bit about yourself, who you are, what you do.
Sure. Okay. My name is Abner Velazquez, and I am a freelance interpreter slash nutrition coach slash personal trainer, and most importantly slash pastor, co-pastor. So doing a few things here, and I just came on because my friend Jose here invited me on. So it's a pleasure to be here with you guys.
Pleasure to have you. Pleasure to have you.
You ever sleep, Abner?
I try. Trying to stay busy, you know.
I see that.
And I'm also a grandfather, also, just like.
Oh, wow. Okay. All right. We got some wisdom in the group. I left our best for last. Michelle, how are you?
I'm good. What an honor. The best. And the only female today.
And the only lady.
We're privileged.
I'm representing.
You're the queen of the bunch. Tell us about yourself.
I love it. I'm in good company. Good afternoon, gentlemen. I'm Michelle Brown. I'm a principal and CEO of a company named Into Action Coaching. We are a New Jersey-based executive coaching, sales coaching, business coaching, training and consulting agency. What does that mean? It means that when we partner with organizations primarily, we are going in, helping them really solve their people issues, productivity, performance, sort of even developing the strategies for growth. We're 15 years old. I started the business back in 2005, having left a 25-year corporate background. And it's my passion. It's very relevant now, because I've been sharing with the gentleman in our meetings past that a lot of the work we're doing now is consulting around diversity, equity, and inclusion, given the myriad of social and racial injustices that we're experiencing in society, and organizations that are progressive are waking up and saying, we need to do a better job to make sure that we're hiring the right talent and promoting them in order to be an employer of choice. So that's my story.
Well, thank you. And it looks like you're not the only lady
I know
with us. She's connecting her audio, so she probably can't hear us now. She's probably, I bet you she can hear us now. Hello.
Hello.
Hi, how are you?
Good, how are you?
Good, good. Welcome to our Friday Focus Forum.
Thank you.
We just were going around and introducing ourselves and saying who we are and what we do. So if you're comfortable, tell us who you are and what you do.
Sure. My name is Celia Valenzuela, and I'm a small business owner of a bookkeeping and accounting firm currently. And I'm getting my tax, my refreshers done and all of that, so I can add tax services to my business this upcoming season.
Very nice. You pick the hardest tax year. This 20,
Yeah.
I was just on the phone with another tax professional about an hour ago, and we were talking about, with all the things that are happening. This 2020 tax year is going to be testing by fire. So it's going to be fun. Well,
in the last 5 years, I've worked closely with, I worked at a CPA firm previously preparing taxes underneath them. So getting a lot of guidance there. And then last year I also did a volunteer income tax prep with the city. So this would be the first year that I'm adding it to my services, but definitely not the first year in taxes, but there's tons of reform. So yeah, it's going to be pretty crazy.
It's going to be crazy. Where are you located at, Celia?
I'm in Phoenix, Arizona.
Oh, nice to have you. Oh, that's my dream state. Like, not
in the summer.
You know what? I love the heat. I think I was talking to the guys before. I'm in New Jersey right now. It's not a bad day, actually. It's pretty decent out, right? It's about 70 degrees, but you can see I'm wearing a long sleeve kind of sweater already. So I love the summer. I just love the heat. So, well, welcome. Nice to have you. Nice to have you.
Thank you.
We have so many different folks with us today that I think what we will also do, just to make it valuable, is I'm going to invite you to put your contact information, whatever you want, in the chat. And then when we post this is being recorded, just so you know, Celia, when we post this, like I mentioned, sometimes people will look at this and they might need a tax preparer in Phoenix. So what your business name is and phone number, and I'll make sure that when we post it, especially on the YouTube, that we put the business contact information in. Is that cool?
Yes, sir.
Awesome. So our little group,
that's great.
Awesome. Our little group is just designed for business owners so we can just vibe and have a place. Like George said, I'm going to start stealing everything from George because, man, your use of the English language is awesome. We are an accountability group. If you didn't know, now you know. Now I know. So we're an accountability. We just chat about business ideas, and then what we try to do is just we make it thematic. So we had a theme that I wanted to share with you, and maybe we can all just chime in and chat about it and see how it applies to business. Is that cool? We'll jump right in. The thought that I had found this week was money is hard to earn and easy to lose. Guard yours with care. I thought that was a very interesting phrase. It actually stemmed because I also host a podcast. So I was chatting with a couple of different business owners this past week. It was some amazing podcasts that are coming out, and we started talking about this money idea, how to be wise with your money. And so he dropped so many gems in this podcast. His name is Derek Van Ness, and that I was like, man, he just got me thinking about how many business owners will make money but don't manage it well, and then struggle later on. And so I thought this was a nice quote. Money is hard to earn and easy to lose. Guard yours with care. Anybody want to comment on how they can apply that to business? To their business? How do you interpret that?
Gotta keep track of where your money's going. If you don't know where your money's going, you lose it that much faster.
Mm-hmm. Very good. Yeah, I like that one. Anybody else want to jump in?
I'll dovetail it to our conversation last week when we were talking about cash is king, right? I got so much out of that, and it sort of brought to mind how much I need to prioritize my cash management best practices. Yeah, because, as the income comes in, if you're not managing it properly, you're going to lose it. Yeah, that's how I interpreted it.
I'm glad. Yeah, last week we had I would say it was a pretty intense meeting when we started, and thank you for that, Michelle, because I think we were all just chatting, and Michelle was like, "Look, guys, I like your theory," but I mean, she was like, "Look, guys, I like your, but you need to cut it down to brass tacks. Tell me what you mean."
Concrete.
I really get geeked about that, so I like that, and we want to make sure in these meetings that we cut it down to brass tacks, right? Or else why spend the time? Cool. So I like that. We definitely need to, in order to make sure that we are guarding our money with care, we have to understand it, right? So financials are going to be important. Anybody else care to jump in?
Yeah, I'll jump in. One of the things in my business, primarily my real estate business, and we talk about knowing your numbers. Somebody's trying to break it. Knowing your numbers helps me with my focus to know when I'm marketing. When I am marketing, when I know the cost of me of getting new business, I know how much I have to do, what my monthly nut is, when I know what my sales contact, when I know the numbers of the properties I'm going after, the people, knowing those numbers helps me to get a clearer picture and makes things a lot less stressful for me. Knowing your numbers makes life a lot less stressful for me.
Very, very true. I completely agree with that. Absolutely. So here's the question, because it's nice to have the theory or the comment or, that whole model. So how can we as business owners guard our money with care? Like George, you said knowing your numbers. How do you, I'm trying to get to like what Michelle taught me last week. How do you know your numbers? What do you have to do to know your numbers? What do you do currently?
So I have a metric that allows me to identify, for my business, I can do it on how many calls does it take me, contacts, it breaks down to that. How many contacts does it take me to reach a client, to make a client, to set an appointment, to bring in a client, and what is the amount of money I'm going to make on that client. And that's helps me to know my numbers as far as the revenue stream is concerned. As far as expenses are concerned, of course, I have to do my numbers there too to find out how much money do I need to make in order to be afloat or be profitable.
Awesome. Anybody else want to jump in with that?
I'll jump in. I went through the Goldman Sachs 10,000 Small Business Program a year and a half ago. And it was awesome because, as a small business owner, it's all about scaling your business. So they look to have us really think about our business as a CEO, regardless of how many employees we have or if we have employees. So I take that statement to mean I'm really having to practice really analyzing my P&L. I even reached out to my bookkeeper after our call last Friday and said, let's get on the calendar to have a confirmed meeting every quarter. They're working on my Q3, because I want to look at my net income, my expenses. I want to identify what my ideal profit margin needs to be in order for cash to be king, and also to identify what Goldman Sachs calls your sleep easy, right? What's the amount of money or net income you need to bring in consistently in order to sleep easy, meaning your personal as well as your business expenses are covered so that your profit kind of stays and then grows. So it's really studying my P&L and even understanding what my cost of goods sold are. I've been working a lot with consultants these days because I have no employees, and in order to not max out on my own capacity, but because of the fees splits, they are now considered my cost of goods sold. So I need to make sure that my splits to them is not compromising my operating profit.
Very nice. Boy, you know, last week, what your goal for next week, you said you were going to work on money management, and you jumped all in.
Totally.
You
Yes.
you might be like the gold star of taking action. You know, I won't lie. I don't even think last week I mentioned that I was going to set up a goal because I was like scared, because I'm like, this past several weeks have been so bananas that every time I try to say I'm going to do something, it doesn't get done. So I was just listening to what you guys said you were going to do last week. But Michelle, my goodness, you got it. You got it down pat, and very nice. You know, it's interesting as owners, and you can tell me if you agree or don't agree. We start our businesses, we focus on being the best widget maker we can be, or the best tax person we can be, or the best tech. And it's important to do that, right? But we're business owners. And so sometimes we have to realize that we need to realign our thinking to be the best business owner I can be. And that's a change for a lot of us. I know it was a change for me. I spent way too much money. Well, maybe not, but a whole lot of money, getting better and better and better and better at taxes. And now that I'm like right here with taxes and I got it all down pat, you know what I'm realizing? It's not profitable for me to be the best tax guy. You know what was profitable? Finding the right tax person, right? Because if I find the right tax person, then I can have them do more taxes and I can bring in more money. But you to make that switch, you've really got to understand the business side of things. So that's really what's most important for us as owners. It's not being the best at our craft. It's important so we don't hire a hack or you know, somebody who has no idea what they're doing and they destroy our business. But we've got to change our focus from simply learning our craft to be the best we can be in that craft, to learning the art or the craft of being a business owner. Am I?
Very true.
Yeah,
Very
that
true.
makes sense.
Let me chip in there. Talking about learning your craft, having run service business for 8 years in the restaurant business, I did run that for 8 years. I took a break for like about 5 years. Now I've ventured back into business, but I'm more into instructing. You know, I do cybersecurity instructions online, Zoom, and a lot of people will not want to pay you the entire amount of money that you charge upfront. So you give them a payment plan. So my problem now is there's some of them that have finished. They're still owing a little bit of money, but the tag to it is before you pass out the program, you have to get your resume done. So I tag that resume to like 75% of payment, then you get your resume, and then I can walk with you because the class remains open for you to keep coming, even if you want to refresh on some of the courses.
Nice.
But my problem is some of them are not paying as at when schedule, and you call them, they say they will, and then you still have to allow them in the class. This is just a very young business that I started. Like this COVID time, I started it, and I'm growing it to understand. I'm still studying how the money flow is. And there are some other projects. And you know, some of us here from foreign countries, you have some other projects outside of the United States that you need to take care of. And then you start seeing yourself, you know, being low in cash because you're dabbing into the cash incomes that are coming. So that's my learning curve now. Yeah.
Okay. You know, billing is an interesting thing. How to get paid is very challenging. I know I have my own ideas on certain things, and you know, you've got to find what works for you and what's valuable. So can I just throw some questions at you?
Mm-hmm.
So when you set up, like, let's say I'm a new client of yours and I want to start my class. I say, I'm awesome. How do you broach the subject of billing at all? What do you say? What do you do?
Well, we'll keep it out at paying. There's a commitment fee that you have to pay to start. At least that commitment fee keeps you in the class. At least you've committed. If you want to back out, you can back out. We don't care.
Beautiful.
But as long as you've continued, you make a payment plan within the 12 months of the program to be paying approximately less than $200 a week. So I approach them right now. I haven't really structured that properly in the sense that I can take their credit card or something, because I use Zelle for payment now, so that when they make the payment, they get their own receipts, and the electronic transaction becomes a receipt between the two of us. So that's how I'm doing it at the moment. I just reach out to them and let them, remind them of their outstanding balance in the program.
Okay.
So
I'm going to throw a couple things at you, and then I'm going to be, and especially when you're starting out, we don't want to spend money to make money. Meaning, you know, when I started out, I didn't accept credit cards because there's a merchant fee, right?
Yeah.
I said, I want my money. I need every dime. So you're not going to get my 3%. No, I take check. I take cash. I don't take credit card.
That's it.
As you grow and you're trying to move forward, you realize that you have to have those things. So, you know, because you will lose on the back end, right? You'll have money that's not paid. So one of the suggestions I'm going to throw at you, and whatever I suggest to you, you have to take it and see if it works for you. And I hope everybody else can chime in as well. But what I do with my own clients, especially my recurring clients, is they pay me via one of two ways: check or credit card. And why that? I mean, and when I'm sorry, let me quantify that: e-check or credit card, accounting routing number. Why is that? Because I have software that will automatically pull that money every month. So I don't go to my clients asking them to pay me anymore, because I used to do that. I used to be running around the streets of Teaneck, sitting in this guy's barbershop who didn't want to pay me, waiting for, no. We set it all up immediately. So when you sign up with me on one of my courses, you're going to get a form that you're going to fill out, and it's going to request an account and routing number or a credit card. And then what we do, and you kind of know this, Austin, because you were a client of mine in the Bookie, right? Yeah. And what we do at the end of every month, you just look in your account, and it's a little lighter by my fee. And you get a paid receipt emailed to you electronically. It costs a little bit of money, but it pales in significance to the one time that somebody stands you up, right? You lose a $300, $400, $500. That's the whole year's fee for most of these things. So I would suggest that you do something like that. Now, to avoid running a riot of problems, you got to be clear about it up front. You have them sign a document that gives them the authorizations and what have you, that says, and there's verbiage that you have to have when you have them sign it. But that alleviates so much of the problems. And I'm going to throw one other curveball at you. So I always like doing the e-check, account and routing number. You know why? Less fees than credit cards.
Less fees, yeah.
And I'm cheap. But here's your problem with account and routing numbers. And I've had this happen. And I'm going to be honest with you. I've lost thousands of dollars. If there's no money in the account and you process your account and routing number, you get no money. And no matter what you do, you don't get that money. So I had a client. We were on the program for years. He was in my class, one of my clients for years, and he was a big ticket client. And he bounced a check. So the money went in my account because some of the software will put it in, then it goes back out, or there was no money there. And we did this dance for months. When I finally dropped him, he owed me $2,500.
Wow.
And I never saw a dime. I ended up just giving it up. We have to also realize this, our time is worth something. I gave it up. I walked away from the $2,500 or 25 or 35. It's a lot of money, but I walked away from it because it's just not worth my time. Had it been credit card, I'd have got it minus 3%. So just be aware of that one caveat.
Here's a question, Mark.
Yes.
Because I take credit cards, but I charge the client
a convenience fee.
Right. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So here's something interesting that I learned recently. Years ago, it was not legal to do that.
Oh.
Yeah. And then I learned that it varied by state. And now, so this year I switched merchant services. I was always with Intuit. That is not a product endorsement. Celia, are you an Intuit girl? You love your
I'm
Intuit?
into it.
Okay. They're not friends of mine.
QuickBooks all the way.
They're not friends of mine. I love QuickBooks.
Okay.
I've been working with QuickBooks since 2000. I think my first version was 2006. Been a pro advisor since 2007. Yeah, I'm old.
Okay.
Gray, right? But that company, the way they nickel and dime us, the professional, is not cool with me. The fact, well, okay, I'm digressing. Anyway, so I switched to merchant services. And this company said, hey, you can actually do a convenience fee to your client so that you can avoid the credit card costs. And I said, I'm going to implement that. But I asked that client, I hope they're right, that vendor, I thought that was illegal in certain states. They said that it is not legal. And when we say illegal, we're talking about not like, go to jail legal, whatever it is, civil or whatever. It depends on the state in which you do business. So if you do business in New York, because that's what my concern was, then you cannot, meaning if my business were in New York, then I couldn't.
It's not where your client is, it's where your business is based.
Right, and I thought it was the other way around. So I thought it was, because I have some clients in New York, I can't ask them for a convenience fee. They told me no, it's where my business is located. So that's the one caveat. So yeah, my new merchant service, I do charge a convenience fee, and I have the option to waive it for certain clients, and I do waive it for certain clients, right? Because
when I send out my invoices especially for my recurring clients, I send it out, and in QuickBooks you can have a check mark on if you want to accept the credit cards or accept ACH. So I just always check bank ACH and I send them all off that way. And only when a customer comes back and says, hey, I'm trying to pay with a credit card and it's not letting me. So for those few that want to finance me on their credit card, however they want to manage that, I just go ahead and allow it. And for other ones, when the majority of them don't say anything because they understand that it is the cost of doing business, and they understand that there is a merchant fees that go along with it, and they don't fight it. So for the few that actually need to utilize that service and put it on their Amex or MasterCard or finance me to keep me on right now to be able to do their books, I just go ahead and do that. But I do have a lot of clients that add it to their bill as well. So
cool. So
kind of what works for you.
Yeah, those are your options, right? Let me ask you one question, Celia. You said you actually send the bill. You are then allowing them to hit the button to pay as opposed to automatically withdrawing the money.
That is correct.
Okay.
That's only because this is my first year doing business on my own. And so I was kind of doing in the beginning, doing whatever I could to build my clientele really quickly. And now that I have, kind of going backwards and saying, well, this is what we're trying to implement now. I really haven't figured out how to do that. So
what's your best practice you need to do it? Yeah. I hear you.
So I have my credit card authorization form, and I have it branded, and I have it ready to send. I don't really know. I just haven't been able to.
The way to do it to not be offensive.
Yeah.
Like, you know what? I know you've been paying me when you're ready. But
you don't want to be offensive.
Yeah. I know you've been paying me, but I want my money now. And I'm not, that would be a little rough.
And I have really good clients. I've been so lucky and there have been a few clients that I just don't mesh well with, or they don't mesh well with me. We're just not a good fit for each other. And those clients have parted ways, and we've parted amicably. And the clients that I do have underneath me now, I have probably 25 different companies that I do books for now. My high profile clients, they're awesome clients. They're amazing businesses that I work for. So they pay me within a couple of days of me sending the invoice. So but it would be easier to not have to actually sit down and do the invoicing, because going back to what you said, your time is worth something.
Yeah, absolutely. It's interesting. I had a coach quite a few years ago, and for all my clients, when I do the billing, I actually sat down and I did it in QuickBooks. I actually processed the payments myself, so manually. And he said, "You sit there." He said, "You sit there and process the payments yourself." And I was like, "Yes." He was like, "What?" I said, "Let me tell you something. That's the most fun I have in my business." I just love sitting there going, click, click, click. That was the most, and I've done that for years because I just enjoy collecting the money. but it does get onerous.
Yeah.
You start getting more and more clients. So I have software that will help me do all that. So I don't. But hey,
Yeah.
but I do like to be in control. And you're right. It's cool because if you have good clients and you got the right mindset, you're building your business the right way. Only work with clients you like, and it'll make work a joy, right? If they're not people
Right.
you like, then it becomes
Clients who
horrific.
see my value. It's not
That's it.
necessarily if they like me. It's people who understand my value and understand my background and how I can help them and what I'm really saving them, come
Yes.
the end of the year, come things that fall through the
Beautiful.
cracks and things that there's a lot of business owners out there that I find that are great at their craft and they know how to make so much money and then they don't know what to do with it or how to manage it or vice versa. They're working so hard for every single penny that they're doing and they're spending it carelessly to things that are not going to be tax deductible at the end of the year and so on and so forth. And so I like to work with businesses who actually value what I do to be able to help them at the end of the day more than collecting their money, but that's good too.
I love it both. You know what? I was just talking to somebody. I get really geeked when I work with a business owner and watch their success. Like that's why you're in the finance part. Michelle is in the advisory services, executive coaches, and that's what I do. And there's like no greater joy than watching a business owner turn it around, right? Or get to profitability. I remember one time, this was very many years ago. I had a business owner. She came to my office, and she had an African store, and it was bleeding money. And she came to my office. She's telling me the story, and she starts crying like a baby. And I was like, I didn't know what to do. And she's like, my husband's invested so much money in this store, and I'm scared I'm going to lose it, because I don't know what I'm doing. And so we worked together for several months and identified what the problems were with the business and came up with some solutions. And, she was able to turn it around. So we stopped working together after a while. And like 10 years later, I was in the neighborhood going to another takeout spot. And she comes running out the store. Mark, I was shocked. I forgot all about it, She's like, I'm still in business. And I mean, that's like the greatest feeling in the world. You feel like you're impacting somebody's life. So I get that, I love working with clients that I love working with. And you're right. If we don't have the mesh, then it's of no value,
That's good.
I'm yakking a lot though, guys. And everybody's sitting here. I need to hear from you. I need to hear from you.
Yeah.
Yeah, when you have clients that that you click with, clients that are understanding of the fact that they're new to the process, you've been doing this for many years. You have a lot of clients who want to not change the way you think, but have trouble adjusting to and I'm sure all the real estate people here can attest to the same thing. Real estate, to buy a house, is a big, not a complicated process, but it's a long process. And there's so many ups and downs. And I always tell people that I'm not just a salesperson. I'm a coach. I'm a mentor. I'm here to hold your hand along the way. And for some people, it gets easier as they go along because they start trusting you. And those people who just hold back and are very, I don't want to say judgmental, it's not the right word, but very, I can't think of the word, but they hold back. They don't let go and let you guide them. They're the ones that end up having a harder time and make the job a little tougher. Whereas some customers make it just wonderful. I don't care how difficult it gets. I have a couple right now that I just met. We've been in the process. We were in contract. We had to walk away from a deal. And these people feel like they're family now. So I'm really enjoying that. And it's not often I can do that.
Yeah.
They feel like they're family. Do you feel the same way?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Everyone is so on point with, again, whether when I introduced myself, I told you guys that I was in the whole fitness and nutrition coach, and it's one time I can identify with this. I was walking down, I think, Washington Street in Newark, getting ready to go teach a class on nutrition. And I ran into someone, or just like the gentleman here, someone came to me and they told me, do you remember who I am? And I said, no. She said, you taught me, you gave me an 8-week workshop on nutrition, how to stay active, how to eat clean. And I never saw this lady again. Maybe a year or so later, she ran up to me and she said, I've lost so many pounds. And I don't remember how many pounds was it that she lost. And she said, I lost this many pounds. I have so much energy. I'm no longer sick and I feel so good. And that day wasn't a really good day for me.
Right.
But then all of a sudden, it was like from night to day. It became like the best day, because now I know that if I change one person's life, and I think that's part of enjoying what you do, when you're actually touching someone's life. And same thing when I'm out interpreting, I run into people who don't know a word of English, and just to have the opportunity to be that conduit and for them to understand what they're going through, especially in a medical condition, then it's, I think that's where your job becomes, when you start enjoying what you do.
Mm-hmm.
You know, every day is when you be able to touch someone's life in a positive way.
Yeah, it's interesting because in the podcast that I do, right, Business Stories of Success, one of the questions I always ask is, what's your definition of success? And I've yet to have someone say $1 million. It's all we all start our business with the desire to be of help or service in one way or another, and money is the byproduct, right? But obviously money is important because we got to make money, right? You know what? If you can't make money, you can't stay in business. That's just the bottom line. So we got to be able to do both of them, right? So I'm
what
glad.
if you can make money and fulfill your life to things that matter to you? In my instance, having small children, being able to be there, being at soccer games, being able to make that flexible schedule, at the same time helping and impacting all these business owners with their babies and what means so much to them, having the best of both worlds, absolute success for me.
That's the definition of success for a lot of people. One of the folks that I've interviewed, now I've done, I think, I don't know, maybe I'm at 15 podcasts. I haven't been doing this for a long time. So everybody has their definition of success. But I think this one guy, he said it so perfectly, like in one sentence. I was like, I wrote it down. I have to find it. I'm not even going to try but it was just amazing. But yeah, it's getting what you want, right? What you want when you start your business. I thought that was really powerful. So in order for us to get those things, that we have to have certain things in place, right? This quote about guarding your money with care is one of them. You know, because success can be short-lived if you're not doing all the other ugly stuff to keep the business going, right? If you don't have your accounts payables in order or your receivables, we've been spending a lot of time on receivables. Do you have a receivables process? Do you have a collections process? All those kind of things. Hopefully we don't have to deal with collections too much. But if you do have money that's on the street, how do you minimize it? Because, you know, AR, it matters. The longer your money's on the street, the less money you have to do other things. So important that you get these business processes in place so that you can have a successful and thriving business and keep that dream of success, you know, moving forward. The analogy that he shared on the podcast, no, I'm talking a lot about it, but it was just really cool. You know, climbing a mountain, right? And so I've had this conversation with people, and as they're climbing the mountain, they're still feeling successful. So if you're in your business, you're climbing your mountain, you might be feeling successful. But when you get to the top, now you've got success, right? But what he said was really cool. He said, you know, so when you get to the mountaintop, you have this amazing view, and you know what you see? The rest of the world before your view, right? So there's more to be had. So success never really ends, but you can lose it. So it's important that we keep building on what we've got to make sure that we are constantly growing successfully.
I like to say something in line with talking about working with clients that are enjoyable to be in their presence. I have to point out that I had the pleasure of working with Michelle Brown. And one of the things I found out in working with her and what made it such an enjoyable thing is because of the communications, the trust. And when you have that with a client, the communications and the trust, it's a less stressful situation. And if you're with a client that you have to sell them on you, or you have to clarify what they're doing all the way, it makes it a very long and difficult affair. And where I am right now, I am selective with my clients.
Nice.
I am very selective with my clients. And if I see that there's going to be a problem, I have tools in effect too that help me do that. Number one is, in terms of purchasing a home, I have to be clear that you're highly motivated, you have a pre-approval, and you have an idea where you want to live. I'm not concerned that you don't know the difference between a colonial and a bi-level and a C-section, but but the fact of the matter is, I just said that. We can get through that point. But if you have the motivation, I understand you have the pre-approval, you have the funds, and we get along, we'll achieve our goal.
Nice.
So that's what I do, really.
I just have to sort of add to that, because I'm such a fan of George's and he knows this. So to give further texture, at the time that I was selling my home with my then ex-husband, and then purchasing the home that I'm in now, it was a very vicarious year for me, right? Getting a divorce after 35 years was really emotional. I knew what I wanted in terms of a house and not a condo or a co-op. But what I really appreciated about George was the personal attention he took to helping me practice discernment. So one example was, I'm looking at houses all over the place, and I know what type of house I want. I knew what my budget was. And there was one house in particular. I don't even know if you remember this, George. It was in Newark, or right by Newark. So I've been hearing about how Newark is kind of going through regentrification. And he researched and he was like, I'm not even showing you this house. Right. No, because it was so close to the border of where it was kind of a high crime area. So, I trusted him so much because, I'm looking at the house, I'm just looking at the block, but he had done the research. So it was the trust that I had in him that he was not going to allow me to, regardless of the sale and the commission that he could make, he was not going to allow me to make a choice in a neighborhood or in an environment that wasn't conducive to my safety. So, yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
Hey, I think when we love what we do, we become better professionals. That's what it sounds like.
Integrity goes away.
And when you work with clients that you love, you want to make sure that love fest continues, right? So you do that. That's awesome. That's a nice story. We're coming up on the 10-minute mark. So guys, when we do this Friday Focus Forum and we want to continue this, what we try to do, George mentioned accountability. So we kind of just look at how we grow, what we want to do for our business in the next week, right? How we grow something, some kind of a goal. So what we do is we go around the room, we talk about the goals that we want to have for next week. You're not compelled to say anything. If you don't want to, that's fine. Just let me know. And then we talk about what the goals were from last week and see how we did. I say this all the time. I set goals every week. Most times I miss them. It's okay. No one gets hurt because of it. It's just something to keep us moving forward. So last week it was a smaller group, but we had 3 of us here. And so if you don't mind, we'll start with you, Michelle, because I already know what I'm going to get. Last week, your goal was to work on your money management and cash reserves. How'd you do?
I reported on it.
Mm-hmm. You crushed it.
Yeah, and I'm really happy because, numbers, sometimes I feel allergic to them. I like being in the business, but that whole cash is king. It's like, I want to make sure that I'm having a tremendous year and I want to make sure that I'm managing my abundant cash flow appropriately. Absolutely. So are you asking the question, what's my accountability for next week?
Correct.
So I am hell-bent on resurrecting this training that I have the DEI training, Masterful Management Paradigm Design, and reconstructing it to be a multi-module training program. So I've got to get that outlined because I'm promoting it to companies and I'm not ready to actually implement it, but I'm getting enough interest, people saying, you know, when you've got something to show me and share with me. So I've got to make that a priority.
Awesome. So that's a big goal for a week.
Yeah.
I know because I have my 2 trainings that I've got going on, and my goodness, there's a lot that goes involved in it. So that's a good goal. George, you were going to work on 15
working on
clients.
Contacting 15 clients, but I was able to even, I don't know the exact number, but I had an onslaught of referrals this week. This week was like amazing. I had clients calling me up, referring people. I was like, okay. And one of the things I'm going to work on next week is I'm going to continue to do that 15 either past clients, network clients, contacting 3 per day, because it really gives you a basis to which you can expand on. So one of the people I contacted was, this is my elementary school graduation class. And I started calling up, touching base with a couple of people in it. Just this had nothing to do with business. It was just
touching it.
But that's the type of thing you have to be doing all the time. In my business, if you want to be touching base with people, you have to go where they are.
Yeah,
so
nice.
Next week I have my same goal, 15 contacts, 3 past clients, or in my network daily.
Very nice. Very nice. I like that goal too. A couple, I don't know, it must have been about a month ago, we had a one of these sessions, and George is really good at keeping up with past clients. And so he actually kind of laid out his system for doing it. It was really, really helpful just for all of us. And you're right, George, you know, you reach out to past clients, you're not even having to sell necessarily just to keep up. And they like, you know what, now that I got a question now, I want to refer. So that past client touch is really, really, really valuable and important. So cool. Bruce, you had a goal last week to motivate your agents.
Okay.
How'd it go?
Somewhat successful.
Congrats.
Yeah, somewhat successful. And this week, I want to make more phone contacts with existing agents and try to get them onto our team. We have 3 or 4 realtors in the group today, and there isn't anything magic that we can do. We just have to do what we have to do to get sales in. How do you get sales in? You get good salespeople, experienced salespeople.
Nice.
Nothing wrong with getting a new agent in. That being said, they need more training. You need time to spend with them, and that isn't always possible.
Can I say something there?
I didn't hear it, George.
Can I say something?
Of course.
Oh, okay. One of the things that I found very important, which I haven't mentioned, that I've been coached on and off for the last 12 years in real estate. I'm not just this brilliant person. I've been coached by Mike Ferry, Tom Ferry, and I've had private coaches out of Canada. Canada has a big area of real estate coaching. I don't know why, but like Canada. But so in terms of setting up my matrix and doing my numbers, it's because I've been coached. And so when I say about a number, I know what number to head for. It helps me get to the level I want to be at by putting out a number there. That's all I wanted to say.
Did you find Mike Ferry helpful?
Not selling anybody. I'll talk to you offline.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, very helpful. I found all of my coaches helpful in some shape or form. Whether
I agree.
The value is a different story.
Right. Celia, would you care to share a goal for the upcoming week for your business?
Sure. For the upcoming week, I have this week coming up. I want to focus on putting together my systems for the upcoming tax season. I'd like to get my workflows down, so when I bring on some help, that everything's in place and starting on that. That's my goal for the week before I go right into month end and start doing what I do for my other clients. So
that's a very nice goal. Systems and workflows makes for success. How about you, Austine?
yes.
Goal?
My goal, my long-term goal is to make sure that well, I don't call them students, I call them mentees, because in any field that you're either mentoring or someone is mentoring you. As a matter of fact, somebody that mentored me 20 years ago, I'm mentoring him now, because that's how it goes. So my goal is to make sure that at least one thing with the kind of service I'm giving is you can lead a horse to the water. You can't force a horse to drink.
Amen.
I am showing them the ropes, giving them everything that I've learned for the past 22 years of my career. And I'm making sure that I'm always available. I created a forum where I share my ideas, and they also share their own ideas on what they're doing. But to make sure that they all secure a befitting job in cybersecurity. And in the next 2 weeks, I'll be starting a new class. I want to be able to get at least 10 new mentees. I have 2 foreign people from my country, Nigeria, that joins because of the time difference, 6 hours, 5 hours difference. So they wake up in the middle of the night around 1 a.m. to join an 8 o'clock and 8 p.m. Program, and they're very dedicated about it. So that's how I'm trying to expand international.
Wow. In
regards to that. So my goal is to see if I can get at least 10 people coming in for the next program I'm going to start in the next 2 weeks.
Oh, wow. Okay. So in order to get these 10 people, what specifically are you going to do next week to do it?
I'm gonna do a lot more advertising, speak to the people that are currently in the program to talk to people, see if they can invite some friends, and word of mouth, speak to a lot more people about the program. But I am seriously looking to make sure that at least if they secure a job position, it will speak a lot more louder.
Right.
Yeah, so that's my main goal.
Yeah. Right. Nice.
Can I say something?
Yeah.
Before we're at the 3 minute, I just don't want us to get loose. So maybe we'll wrap you up. But Jose, Tony, goal that you'd like to share?
Yes. The last time I tried 30, that was way too much. I never reached my goal. So we're going to go a little more conservative, especially now that I'm busier. I'm going to say 15. I'm going to reach out to 15 past clients. I did get to 12 last time, but
oh, that's awesome.
Yeah, that's good.
That's nice. That's a nice goal. And realizing what we can do as we scale is important, right? So cool. Abner, goal, do you want to share?
Sure. This week, I'm definitely going to work on promoting my business more, trying to get more clients, making a lot more phone calls and reaching out. And also, one of the things that I want to do is starting Monday is reach out to the people that I offered my business to maybe 2 weeks ago. And it's probably been a little bit over 2 weeks. So I think it's about time that I call back and just make sure that they got my letter of offer and so on. Nice. So those are my 2 main goals right now.
My question to Abner is what's your business? Because you talked about being an interpreter.
Okay, I'm an interpreter. I'm based next to Woodbridge in New Jersey.
No, which business?
Which business are you going to reach out to?
Interpreting business. Okay, JAinterpreting interpreting.
Oh, okay. No, I'm sorry. You did. Okay. Yeah, you're saying you're going to be focusing in on your interpreting business. I thought you also said you're a nutritionist.
Well, I was a paraprofessional for nutrition for Rutgers for 8 years.
Oh, okay.
Yes, but I'm also a fitness trainer, and I have vast knowledge of nutrition.
Yeah, I wasn't sure which one you were focused on.
Yes, right now I'm mainly trying to focus on my interpreting business, and you know, with the whole fitness and nutrition, well, sometimes it's hard to get people to eat healthier and start moving a little bit. You know, it gets a little personal sometimes. So
yeah, who you telling? So cool, very nice goals, guys. This past couple weeks, I've been just focused on the advisory part of the business. So I think this next week, my goal is I have these what I call one sheets that explain the two programs, the two 90-day programs that I have, and I'm going to write them up finally, and that way I can have that piece added to the website. So that's my goal. My 90-day programs being written up, and my FAQs. That's what I'm going to make sure to have done. And hopefully I can make that happen. We'll see. All right, guys. Thank you so much. Michelle had to sign off. Before we wrap up, is there anything anybody else needs to do before we wrap up?
Please, I don't know. I'm trying to finish up my business website. I need a content developer. If anybody has, that would be really nice for me.
Okay. I might have a guy for you.
Okay.
All right, but we'll chat offline. I'll shoot you an email.
Okay, thanks.
All right.
Thank you for having me.
Thanks so much. We hope you come again.
Welcome.
Take care. God bless.
Really a pleasure.
Have a great day.
Abner, I'm gonna reach out to you.